lot of questions here about the equipment that we use or do not use at Everydog Training Center. And as a positive reinforcement trainer, I get a lot of questions in my own personal business as well. The way that I tend to explain it, most people expect their dog to be able to walk on a traditional collar. That's what this is. This is a buckle collar. It buckles into place, boop, like a seat belt. You can maybe even like see the kind that buckle like a regular, like a belt buckle. That's where it gets its name. This is intentionally loose on Captain. He could back out of it if he wanted to, and that's because I don't walk him on his collar. There's a lot of reasons why I don't. One is rabbits. When he sees one, even the best trained dog might see something that's very exciting or scary, and they might lunge or to get to it or back up really quickly to get away. If he were to back up really quickly to get away, he could back right out of this collar, and I don't want that to happen. I love my dog, and I don't want him to run away or get hurt. So I don't walk him on a traditional collar. We walk Captain on a front clip harness, and some kinds that you might see in the store. This one is an easy walk harness. It's effectively 3 straps, 2 colors, black and red. 2 straps are red, 1 is black. The black one here, it might be green or purple or whatever, but the black, the single color, is usually the one that has the buckle, and that's the one that we're going to be working with. A lot of students might put it this way and buckle them underneath the front. Whoop, sorry, buddy. This isn't his collar in his harness, so like he's like, what is going on? This doesn't quite feel right. So it buckles underneath. I'm gonna give him a little bit more room. He's been working really hard today, so he's a little fatter than he was when he started the day. We've been doing a lot of videos. So I'm gonna buckle him here. When I go to buckle, I always have my thumb in the way, so if I pinch anything, I'm pinching me, not my dog. But you can see here that I have the buckle at the top, and I'll get students that are coming in going, well, I got him this no-pull harness, but he's pulling me in. So right here, he's connected at the back. I grew up in a dog sledding family. The way that we got our dogs to pull us across the state of Maine by dog sled was to effectively put them in a harness that connects at the back and connected to a dog sled. When you connect a dog at the back, for the most part, this is going to increase their tendency and ability to pull comfortably. So this isn't going to help you if you don't want your dog to pull. Case in point, oh look, cheese. Oh. So he can really pull into that if he wanted to. Instead, you want this to be, boop, at the chest. So now that he's here at the chest, Cap, go get it. See how it kind of turned him away a little bit? That's the idea. Now I have made his chest a fulcrum, so his forward motion kind of pulls him to the side so he can't pull effectively. Once you get them on this front clip harness, or I'll show you a different variation of this, the dog will be able to hopefully respond to their name. Remember, we were talking about name recognition and manners 1. So when he gets over there, Cap, go get it. Captain. Yes, so it's already starting to turn him around, so I can use that for training. Find it. I'm gonna let him get those things. Good boy. Touch. Just in case there's no more teeth. So the chest clip harness, most dogs will learn how to pull through this if you don't effectively teach them how to walk nicely. But this is a good way to save your rotator cuff or to start working on attention while you're working. So consider moving the dog to the chest if you're having a hard time with pulling or if your dog is blowing you off while you're walking. Another variation of this, hey buddy, step up. This is a freedom harness by Two Hounds Design. It'll look like this when you get it out of the bag. This is dirty, it's well loved. But it has a back and a chest clip. So when I'm doing nose work with Captain and he needs to pull, I put him on the back. And when we're walking, he's over here in the front. This it's got a little bit more stability and a lot more adjustability than the Easy Walk or the similar sensation harness. It also has velvet underneath, and Captain has very sensitive skin, so this actually prevents a lot of chafing. So if you have a dog that's kind of built more like him, maybe a little awkward, a little funny shaped, he's kind of got a barrel chest, but he's skinny, this gives you a little bit more adjustability. So this T flaps underneath and it buckles on one side. And again, buckles on the other. And again, I always have my hand in the way so I don't pinch my dog. Now if I'm doing nose work, I clip him to the back and I tell him to F-I-N-D it. If I say it, he's gonna think that there's something for him to look for. So he can pull me to the odor. If I'm running with my dog or I want them to pull or do recall exercises, I would connect him here. As we're going for a walk, I'm going to connect him here. He's 95% of the time on the chest part of this clip. Now, another tool that you might see here that we use is a head collar. I don't know if this is fit to him. It is not. That is not gonna fit you, buddy. That is a very tiny dog that was in this before.
And before we move on to the gentle leader, the head collar, I noticed that some of these harnesses have a movable piece on the back here that slips, and some of them do not. What is the pro and con of that?
Good job. This is called a martingale. So that loop, if you've ever done equestrian work, horses might go onto a martingale type harness. And what that is that just basically gets tight to indicate, oh, I'm getting to the end of my ability to pull. The Easy Walk harness has one at the chest. This is really good for maybe a bigger dog, like a Doberman or a chestier dog, because it's designed to get a little bit tight before the dog stops forward progress. For a thinner dog, think of like your doodles that are maybe a little more narrow in the chest, or an Irish setter. What that does is it actually gets really, the 2 points here connect, and then they have an extra inch or two to pull through, so this is less effective on a narrow-chested dog. So in that case, you would want one that has a static O-ring, like the Sensation harness. Good question. Another device here is a head collar. So what I'm gonna do here is, oh boy, I'm gonna put his nose through here, and buckle behind his ears. And again, I'm going to have my hand here because I don't want to pinch my dog.
And this is not a muzzle.
This is not a muzzle. He can drink, he can eat, he can technically bite if he wanted to. But this, he hates when I touch his face. This is too big. So I'm gonna make an adjustment down here, pull it up, boop. And when I go to walk my dog this way, and Captain uses one of these, here we go. Now I have him here by the head. So if you have an intense puller and you are not somebody who's going to pull back on your dog, this might be a good tool for you. I use this a lot with Captain in the spring when the rabbits have had babies. It's really hard for me to get even Captain's attention. So I'll walk him on this, or in the summer when there's a lot of bicyclists. In the winter, he's usually like on his chest attached harness. So you can move back and forth between the two. It's not a problem. Your dog isn't a bad dog if you need to walk with something a little bit, that gives you a little bit more control. And keeping in mind, he doesn't look like it now. He's been working really hard all day, but he has broken my hand and my ankle. So making sure that you have equipment that can, if you're smaller or have a powerful dog or one that's just learning and doesn't quite know how big they are, having the right equipment might help you. Now, we do not advocate the use of prong collars, shock collars, or choke chains in these classes for several reasons. One, physical pain. We don't believe that physical pain is an appropriate or efficient, effective way to train an animal. Dogs are our best friends, and I don't think personally that hurting them makes them more our friend. Some people think that they are very effective tools, and they can be. But if I can't get the timing right on a clicker, I'm not going to be able to get the timing right on one of these other devices that can cause pain. The other fallback to those devices is if a dog were to, my former dog, Sadie, she used to be super social with other dogs. And when I had hurt my ankle, I was on crutches for a while, I put her in a prong collar. And so when she would see dogs, yay, dog, and she'd run to the end of the leash and get hurt. That dog hurt my neck. I created in 1 week a dog that had gone from being super social to dog aggressive. And she never recovered from that. So it was another 9 years of her life of not liking dogs compared to 2 where she loved them. You never know what your dog is learning until they've learned it, and it can backfire. When it backfires, it's a lot harder. These tools don't backfire in the same way. So it's better to use some of these tools instead of something that causes pain. If you have any questions about the equipment that we use or choose to use here at Everydog, feel free to send us a note or leave a comment, and we're happy to help you.